it had. Have you heard Februrary music before?
Mm-hmm.
It had a vaguely Februrary melody to it. It played on some sort of percussive instrument, and it was paired with what must have been a stringed instrument of some kind, haunting, but not in the emotive way of like a violin, the way that not the same. Violin tends to pluck at your heart, I imagine. No, this felt mystical almost. Considering I felt compelled to follow it, I imagine it was. I walked into the desert for 5 nights. You really don't want to be under that sun. And on the dusk of the 6th, I came upon a camp and a person. And that's when the music stopped. And I have not heard it since. As a bard and a learned person, do you know what to make of this? What it might have been?
I can't speak for Silas, but I was thinking that maybe it was some sort of fae, but you said it was initially a bright sky, not twilight, so it wouldn't. I don't even know how the Feywild interacts in the Dawn Peninsula. So maybe not a fae. It might be some. You said it was haunting in a way, so maybe something undead. I know there are some undead that can do that. They have a mystical sense of song to them, supposedly. Not demonic. Probably.
You're probably. I feel so much more assured.
Well, it's only like a 78.42 chance. Not.
I did not need to know that.
That's a majority. Anyways, probably not devilish. Devil's definitely, well, without a certain exceptions, probably not devilish. And given that you're you, still, probably not them either. So that's good.
Yes, I would hate stop being me.
So I rightly don't know to tell you what it could have specifically been, but I'm not a bard, contrary to what a lot of people think about me. Looks at it, Tolos turns her attention to you, Silas. What are your thoughts?
Silas is thinking this whole time and just kind of looks between them and is like, I don't. Without hearing it, I don't know. And you said, what was you came across a person?
Oh yes, I followed it and it led me to a camp. A small camp, it's separated from a larger one. That's where I met Isadora, the woman I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And when I sat by... I joined her by the campfire and we spoke of this and that, nothing and everything. And it just felt like we'd known each other for years. Made fast friends. And then in the morning, Melvin came. Fucking... Suffice it to say that if he and his goons didn't like me showing up, and if she had not intervened, I probably would have been killed by them.
See.
But maybe it has to do with the nocturnal, the iridescent nocturnal. I don't know if I've mentioned the item to either of you before. I spoke to.
I don't believe so.
So, before I set out, some people, now I believe it to be Melvin's underlings, they brought an item to me that I did not recognize at first. It was the iridescent nocturnal. This think of it as a tool to read constellations, stars, a way to navigate. It is also.
Oh,
You remember
Toes
the
nods
story I
at
told
that.
you?
Marika's
Didn't you
showed me
Oh,
how
sorry, go
to
ahead.
use it. Marika showed me how to use that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Marika was a sailor, so she knows how to use that
Okay.
sort of stuff.
Perhaps there is no such thing as coincidence.
The
Wow.
gods are favorable, whichever ones people believe in.
Yeah. Remember the story I told you about my ancestor and the Forgotten Five?
Mhm.
The item in question that was stolen was the item that was brought to me for identification, but for some reason I didn't recognize it. Later on, when I came to the camp in the desert and met Isadora, she showed it to me again, and that is when I realized that it was, in fact, the very item that my ancestor had stolen from her.
Then maybe the music that you heard might have been some specter or revenant from time past, alluring you, one of your ancestors.
Maybe. Ancestral connection. I hadn't thought of that.
Very will be.
Or maybe you have a daemon of your own that was inviting you. Not a demon, daemon, different. Chipper smile.
Right. Melvin took it and ran, and she followed, chasing after him. If she's here by herself, I'm assuming she got it back. But yeah, that's pretty much all I can tell you about the music. Unless I hear it again, I suppose.
How did you feel when you were following it those nights?
Energized, tired, hungry,
Driven.
Focused?
Yes, focus driven, purposeful.
Well, you're aware of your surroundings.
Well, everything looks the same when it's one sand dune after the other. So
Right,
not
fair.
really.
Fair enough.
If I had to say, I'd probably say no, probably not.
Well, you travel across the deserts on the Dawn Peninsula. Do you remember the rumblings of any of the dune worms?
Oh, and gods no, I would have remembered that. Now that I think about it, what was I doing on my own there? It's like rule number 1: never go in there alone. Always have hard footing under your feet. My gods, I must be crazy.
Maybe this has something to do. I'm not an expert on anything really, but I know that Februrarians have that different philosophy, eh? Sons take all.
Yes.
Maybe it has something to do with that. I don't have, and told me it's like page and I don't have a lot of information on that religion, if you can call it that. I guess it is a religion. Anyways, I don't have enough reference for that, so it might be that, and I personally don't have anything to tell you about it because I don't have anything about it.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about that. Often when you hear provincials talking about the Februrarian way of thought, the sands take all adage, it does not necessarily mean what most people think it means.
The reductive way of it.
Exactly.
I've heard
it does
some of
not
that.
always mean that everything will be consumed by sand and vanish into the desert. It does mean that, but it also means that nothing is new under the sun, and the things that were will eventually return. The sand shifts, it moves, it reveals ruins of what once was.
That would explain the big rhymnological focus on the peninsula.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
I'm not like holds up like quite good events. I'm not like a rhymnologist or anything. But
I
some part of me
wouldn't
wonders
judge if
about
you
them.
were.
Smiles. Maybe we're into one.
Maybe.
And hopefully they're not super crazy.
They do tend to be a little strange, I'll give you that.
Sorry couldn't be more help for the music, though.
That's
Think-
right.
That's...
I don't know what to think of it myself, so I was looking for perspective, really.
If you can remember the notes of it, maybe we can try writing it down for Silas. Maybe play it back.
I do have a string instrument. It's not quite what you heard, like you said. Violin doesn't quite match, but
Yeah, sure. Once you've written your letter, if you have some time before we sleep, sure.
I can
It
let
is
you know
really... It is really late.
that it is.
It's like 3 a.m.
Maybe first thing in the morning. Over breakfast.
Hi. Alright, back to writing.
Back to writing.
Yeah.
Back to writing.
Thank you, both.
No
Thank you.
problem.
I appreciate
Of
it.
course.
And you go back to writing. And Sajar, you leave them to their writings.
Nerd shit.
Yeah, their nerd shit. In the meantime, Deets, Brennan, Oriana. I already know, Oriana, you want to go take a look at the flags.
Yeah, that was one thing. But
Yeah, what are you guys doing?
do they want to do anything?
Brendan wanted to get that long rest finally that we missed.
Man's trying to snooze.
Understandable. Yeah, you could
It
tuck
was
back
like
in.
I woke up, had a fight, got knocked unconscious, got resurrected, had another fight. I mean, he's sleep, man.
Understandable. Then what about Deet?
I was gonna ask Brendan some questions about.
I mean, you could wake him up. Ping him before he
He's
goes to sleep.
asleep.
Hold on.
Yeah, go poke him awake. Do it.
Oh, you guys
Poke him
aren't on
awake.
the same watch. No, he's a second watch.
Like, yeah, go poke him
I
awake.
think the watch order is basically out of fucking whack at this point. Don't worry about the watch orders for the time being. You guys have like another like 8 people on your guys'
Yeah.
We got a
proximity now.
city to burn.
Yeah. Wake
I
up,
guess
the
I'll
girl.
head over to.
We got a palisade to burn.
You go over to Brendan, who's in the midst of like finding a quiet corner to go back to sleep with, waiting for the daylight's about to run out eventually.
He's basically gathered all the clothes that he can to puff into a giant pillow to sleep on.
Oh yeah, it's not concentration. She can't just end it.
Yeah, it's an hour long. And it's probably gone through half of it, but it still has another 30 minutes left.
Sleeping with the lights on tonight.
Yeah, I'll get a blindfold. So yeah, D, you find Brendan, who's conglomerated as many free bits of clothing into a hamper pile of cushiony goodness to go to sleep in. You are a comfy boy. As comfy as you can get out here, at least.
Yeah. Well, the dogs are on patrol.
They are on patrol, yeah. Yeah, you go over to him. And Brendan, you notice D coming over to you.
Hi.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to wake you.
I'm, he looks around. I'm clearly not asleep yet.
But you look so comfortable.
Hey, I mean, you're welcome to join me. It's quite comfy, and then, not all of us can sleep in 4 hours as much as we all do in 8.
I
still-
appreciate the offer, but
I-
I am not sleeping. I'm not sleepy right now. I just came to ask if you've had any more voices in your head.
None
Recently?
that you should be notified about. There's the occasional musings of the people around me, but none outside of purview of currently here in camp.
understandable, but don't you want to tell us what's going on with that? Or
telling
maybe
you
it'd be
what is going on would require some sort of knowledge about what is going on myself.
So
Look, I was found on the edge of the twins as a child. I had weird horns growing out of my head, which I still do to this day. They're a bit bigger now. I got weird tired eyes. I heard voices from about the age of, I'm guessing, 6, maybe 5. I don't really know how old I am. I'm at least 16. I could be a year older. I could be 10 years older. I don't know. So yeah, and I've not had an education. What little I've learned is from what books I could steal, what I could pick up from hiding behind people and listening, or just lying and thieving to get stuff. So, I know
you are
enough.
quite powerful.
Aye, but
And
I just do things. You understand? Like, I don't put forethought into it. I just sort of throw my hands willy-nilly, say some random words that have some meaning, and things happen. And then just gotten connected the results with what I've done to form further proof of, So, like, when I first did this, and he'll, like, flick his hand, say a word, and minor illusion, a small version of him. It took me about 3 or 4 attempts to remember the right words and the right motions to get it done.
I see.
But I never really learned how to do it. It just sort of happened on instinct, and then from there I had to relearn what I did on instinct into an actual conscious thing. Sometimes I had whispers of help in my head, guiding me, but, always vague.
They're just vague. You can't really communicate with them? Or
I don't know if I can. They've never. I mean, the only times I've spoken to them is when they've initiated it with me.
maybe
I mean,
you
there
can
was that
try
one
and
time. There was that one time today when I asked and they responded, but that was like the first time. And don't get me started on the other one. She's been quiet for a while.
how many voices do you have talking to you?
Well, 2 until recently, and then I started hearing other people in the group's voices, but that was rarely, and I had to concentrate a lot for that one.
Other people's voices?
Oh yeah, like yours and Redane's and Ahsoka's and Silas and that type of thing. But I had to really concentrate for that. I can put mine in their heads, I think, but no one's really acknowledged it.
That's really cool, but I don't know if that could also be a downfall. What if these voices aren't good?
I never said they were.
And you're okay with just listening to them?
I don't think I have much in the way of a choice. I'll listen to them. Whether I choose to follow what they say is a different matter. I still make my own decisions about it, but
That's good. I don't mean to be rude about this. I'm sorry if it comes off like that.
I'm sorry for being closed off. I'm just not used to people,
No, I understand. Well,
mean, like, the voices were the only people that were nice to me for most of my life.
that's good. I mean,
Is it though? Because I've also been in a lot of trouble for hearing voices and other things beside that, which I'm not able to change about myself. But people are weird like that.
true, but when you explained it to me, I kind of understood.
Hey, then you're more understanding than others.
You didn't have much parental guidance growing up, so
I had the
if
voices. They
the
were like a mother
voices,
and father to me, as much as anything was. Though I don't really know what a mother and father really do for you. But I guess that they were similar.
yeah. I'm trying to think of something to say.
Welcome to D&D Conversations. You get used to it, or you don't. It's okay though.
Oh, this
Are
is
you,
very. This is what I've been waiting for. I mean,
are
that's
you,
lore.
are you sure you don't want to, sit down? It's quite comfy.
Yeah, okay. Maybe
I
we
have,
can talk some more about
hey, I have some snacks and stuff. It really helps me get in the mood to sleep.
what kind of snacks. Like,
Well, he'll like unwrap his cloak, and inside you'll see what is basically a bandolier that is full of different pockets that he keeps it in, and like 4 or 5 of them are just different types of food. You're just like, I've got fruit, I've got toffees, and then I've got some fudge as well. And they're all mixed together. I don't really know which one's which. I got some jerky in this one, and then I don't really know what this is. I found it once, and I haven't tried it.
the good stuff. I
A
really
lot of rations, a lot of travel ration stuff.
Thank
Oh,
you.
and this one's reserved for Ori, just because she likes the stuff that's in there. There's some gooseberries and blueberries, and small berries.
Yes. I should probably
Ori is not nearby.
feed Kebab and June.
There's some jerky. That should work. They might hunt something in the night.
The dead of night. Big deer. Hell yeah.
Dire deer.
Dire. Yeah, my bad. Dire deer.
Deer dire. I'm sure they'll find something if they need it. But snacks are the way to a person's heart. They say, I think.
Yeah, and I guess Kebab's kind of like a picky eater. He only likes kebab.
Also, she.
I mean, sure. I'm sure we can make something during the night that'll satisfy your. Oh, never mind. Never mind.
Oh,
That might come
go
up
for
later.
it.
I just have this weird thing, and he'll reach into another pocket in a different part of underneath his cloak and bring out 2 stones. See, I got these weird magic thingies I stole, and I don't really know what to do with them.
What are they?
Well, I don't know. I've never had I have the feeling that you're supposed to use one to affect the other, but because I have both of them, I don't really know what the connection is between the two. Whether it's like, if you use one, you can teleport to the other, but because I have both, I can't teleport to myself. Or if you have one, you can talk to the other, or stuff like that. I know that one affects the other, and the other, and vice versa. But just sort of
Huh.
have them.
So, can you like send messages?
I've never tried. I've never had anyone to send anything with.
We could test it out.
Sure. Better time than any. They might come in handy. I was thinking, if we really need them, I could give one to the someone we need to keep in contact with, like when Kasai and Lambert were thinking of leaving. Give one to them so we can chat over long distances. But I don't know if they work that way, and I don't know if they do work that way, how far they work.
It would have been a good idea to test it when the group split up to get firewood for the camp.
You're smart. I like you.
Thanks. I like you too.
That's nice. Never had that before.
Well,
Here. And I'll hold one out for you.
oh, thank you. Next time, if we do end up splitting, we'd be
Aye.
able to test the stones out.
Aye. Oh, I can. If it does work, like sending a message, I can sort of do that already without the stones. And he'll reach up and break off a bit of his horn, like the bit of the laurel, like wooden horn.
Yeah, the thorns.
Yeah.
Or thorn.
And he'll say, I can, if I concentrate, I can take a bit of this off and either communicate with whoever's holding it or spy on them, which you've used to great advantage in the past. It's great. What you do is you take a bit, stick it in someone's pocket, and watch where they go, and then you know where they're putting their secret stuff, and then you come back. Never mind. And then you get the idea. Guessing.
Yeah.
But, and then he'll grind it into dust in his hand, and it'll start to regrow out of his horn slowly. But I can only do it once a day because it hurts ripping a bit of your head off.
Yeah, I was going to ask that if it was very necessary at this point.
Oh, I mean, it's not it's not painful ish. It's not like ripping off a finger or something. It's like taking a bunch of hair and ripping it out, I guess. Like it's painful for the initial bit, but
You mentioned before that you can hear other people's voices. But are you able to read